Hey, welcome everybody to Battle Pirates Crib. A lot going on this week. We got Bounty 29, OP 12, some interesting TLCs as far as the prizes go. And let's get going. Magic Mike,
Yes, sir. Hello, everybody.
Derpy.
Hey everyone.
Yep. A couple people couldn't make it. Kenny's Canadian instincts were, needing to play. He went on a 10-day cruise, and he's like, well, at this point, I might get an extra 14 days out of it. So he's on a cruise, and then Aussie, either a dingo or a storm got his router,
Ooh.
and Lady Cat's at work. So, let's get going.
Okay.
Derpy, did you do something on this, or that was something else?
It was something sort of similar to scrap heaps.
Okay.
I don't think it's what they fixed.
Okay. I've been I haven't had any of these for a while for base parts, so nothing really to use base parts on personally. And if so, I've been using the SSRBs, so I don't have any experience with this. So.
Was that your 109?
Yeah, so
okay.
the bug they fixed was something in the 103 and some other base parts targets where it was dealing out a little bit more damage than expected. The bug I'm seeing in the 109 is if you auto it sometimes, you go in range of those really small golden turrets that have like 50 range that you're supposed to outrange anyway. But sometimes when you auto, it doesn't work right, and you go in range and you die.
Okay.
That's the bug that I'm talking about, which is not the one that they fixed.
Okay. I watched it quickly without sound, so that's why I asked you.
Okay.
It looked like you were making some comparison for sure. Good. Thanks.
Okay. And let's move one more click.
Oop. Okay.
Yesterday and part of today, those 12 you could upgrade without War Academy 19, and they also said we had to max out our tactical lab, which they seem to have forgotten about in December. But the War Academy has been re-implemented as a prerequisite for upgrading OP 12. So if you've already started, didn't have War Academy 19, you're one of the lucky ones. But I think from now on, that's no longer the case.
I think I beat it.
I beat it too. My War Academy was 18, and I finished upgrading that, started my outpost, and so I got away with it.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. I think I got the first thing I did as soon as it came out was start the outpost because I don't have many tokens, and
well, I think it was pretty easy if you started from the beginning to get to War Academy 19.
Yeah.
And max lab on the tech. I think you probably are there.
It might even. You took words out of my mouth. It might even be there, and I didn't even realize it.
I think with you, I would expect it would be.
Okay.
A bit of a completionist on these sort of things.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So let's move on. All right. We got Bounty this week. OP 12 is happening, and February CM Diary. I don't think the diary's out, but one more click. We got a preview of the calendar for the following month. We have Pillage, and then next week, following week, we have the first raid in the Siege Cycle. Vengeance, which is going to be, let's see, today is the 26th, so it would start on a Wednesday. So she's going back to using Tuesday as the date instead of Monday. So we have basically 2 weeks until the 14 days, which is going to be an important point moving on. As far as that 14 days in regards to some of your upgrades and whatnot, or it may just be, may not matter at all for you. Following that, we have a 3-week cycle again, 2 3-week cycles in a row for the FM, an art showcase, Bounty 30, So that's what we're at now. But remember, there's 14 days until the first raid for our Punishers. So, any thoughts on this, anybody? Before we
Just sounds tight.
Yeah, tight as always. Having it on the rate on the first Thursday of every month means that we get 4 weeks when we want 3 and 3 weeks when we want 4.
Yeah.
It'll be tight.
Yep. So let's move on. We got a lot to cover. Okay. Judgment Day TLC. I've tried I did the first prize pack. I rushed through it in 14 minutes because I needed to get on the show. So I took more damage than I should. A couple of targets in the prize pack. The first 2 I had never seen before, so I assumed they were lower level targets. And then it was some old targets that I'd seen before. All of them have the launchers in them so far in prize pack 1. I haven't gotten to any of the other prize packs, but there's some good prizes in here.
Yep.
You have the maximum of getting 8 days of Punisher build tokens, 5 days of upgrade tokens, and also the opportunity to win 10 of the limited launchers, which is, it's all good. Personally, if I think I can complete the mastery prizes, I am going to save my generic tokens from the FM this week and the FM next week to work on the flag. And if I need to speed up my Punishers, I will use these tokens as opposed to the generic ones for the upcoming raid.
It's a good plan.
That sounds like a good plan, and you can use whatever you don't use. You can save the ones for this week and next week, like you said. Use those on the flag, or once we get closer to a final build and know the other specials that we're going to get in pillage or might get in pillage.
Yeah,
you'll have, if you save tokens now, you have more options later.
Yeah. I did prize pack 1 real quick myself and took like 3.5 hours damage. I did not do so well, but
I'm assuming I think going through, if you look at them, because it's like I said with the thrower ones, and if you haven't seen them before, you can get caught in some odd spots.
You gotta watch the throwers. As long as you stay out of the way for those, you're in good shape.
Okay, and the D99F, I so didn't want to claim it in the raid. I'm like, I could use it on anything else because I'm sure I'm going to get this in a TLC next week. But yes, I claimed it anyways and wasted the points because I just knew it was going to be out there.
So I didn't need to get D99F or Atom Absorption System. Those would both have been in this TLC.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Well, I was thinking the reason I didn't want to pay attention to the D99F is like I'm not even going to get an opportunity to build these before I get in the TLC. I've already put Atom Absorption System on some of my ships, so at least I was, hey Raptor, we see you. So good to see you're back.
Hey Raptor.
And but yeah, I would recommend doing it, and you use it using your dragoons. Potentially, if your Punishers are advanced enough, by the time this is over, maybe you could use those as well. But I don't know how U0 Punishers that are half built.
So maybe too early of a question, but the way this looks, it's like you want to mix the launchers, the 99F and the 99Us.
Well, at this point, they're forcing you to do that. Once you complete the Judgment Day TLC, you are going to have 30 of the D99Us available.
Oh, no, I got you.
And then I don't know how many are going to be available in pillage, because the whole fleet would take 50 of them. So if 20 are available in pillage, maybe you never need to use the D99F.
There you go. Okay. Didn't think about that.
And if you're weight constrained with the ship, with the dock, you may not even have the weight capacity to add any D99Fs. So because you can only put, well, we can get into that later, but
Yeah.
you put any armor on there, the D99, you can only put 4 or 5 per ship. So at 30 with 5 ships, you're in good shape and wouldn't have to use the D99U. So
Okay.
I did find it interesting that the damage diffusion system was in here. So, any more thoughts on this one? Okay, I can move on if we got plenty to cover. Tides of March. This one, as I recall, you use your Pegasus, and we've seen this before. This one will run through March, but the previous one I think was in December. Allows you to get build tokens and upgrade tokens for your Praetorian. Quite a lot of and armors, and there's a lot of things in here. So a lot of things that are also available in the FM, but I'm assuming a lot of people are at this point pretty close to not maxed, but have what they need as far as the limited ZX1 and ZM1 armors.
Okay.
Thoughts, anybody?
Yeah, it looks like this one is for those of us that aren't quite all the way there yet.
Yeah, or if people have those extra rockets, if you picked up those 5 of the AA rockets or Maquila rockets last raid or whenever we got them and want to put those on one of your ships, you have tokens to do that now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the upgrades. You get you have the opportunity, I think, to get 6 upgrade tokens. So you can, and again, the best one. Well, this is only for the Praetorian, so I'm sorry about that. Because the one you really want to upgrade is the flag.
Yeah.
So, but those aren't available. So
looks like a nice catch-up TLC for.
Well, I have, besides my flag, I'm at U1 with 2 of my Praetorians and U2.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So had other priorities.
Gotcha. Okay.
Move on. All right. On the left is the FAQs that they listed for Outpost 12. And on the right is things that will drop that haven't dropped yet. There will be no extra land tiles with Outpost 12 or the PvP updates. There's no current plans to shift the base planner border. And make sure to check out the new Tier 9, the new Tier 9 heavy turrets and bounty, just in case you feel underwhelmed by the defensive capability of the upgrades that we're getting at this point. The other thing that I was told by somebody at Kickside that I'll be a little miffed if it doesn't come to be, or if it does come to be true, is that there is no plans. They looked at it, and there's no plans to have a upgrade to your shipyard through Outpost 12 or the PvP updates as part of this whole cycle. There's no plans on that, which
do I not see walls here anywhere, which would be nice.
Well, they're in the rest of it. They're here. I don't know. Walls was low on my priority list. We'll get to that.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, but the shipyard, because the shipyard is the one that I was really anxious about, because when you're upgrading your shipyard, which takes who knows at this point 7-8 days, whatever, you can't build any ships during that period of time. Yep. So you are upgrading and can't continue on this 2-month cycle, and it would just be wouldn't be good. But it does not appear that there's any plans now or throughout the OP12 process to do that. So it does give people that have stored up tokens, and I personally stored up a a lot of tokens in order to completely avoid any bottlenecks associated with that. So, and then coming soon, things that we expect to happen and they say are going to happen, which haven't happened yet. Changes to the rules as far as PvP, which eliminates the bubble and does a lot of things, changes the win conditions. They go from defense platform 10 to 11. And the new subaquatic war factory, we don't know what it does.
I'll bet you anything it will make mines for your base.
I did see that picture. I did see that picture that in the art release, and that's why I was like, "Oh, when are we getting our mines?" Is that where you got your?
Yeah, and the name subaquatic mines.
Yeah,
it's that in that picture.
Yeah. So that's that's what I and I mentioned that on Discord, and Julie's like, "Well, don't read too much into that picture." And I'm like, "Well, it looks like mine's to me." So, glowing things floating in the water. Great Hall. We're going to get a new level, and I'm assuming potentially a gigantic increase in armor because with the PvP rule changes, the Great Hall is going to be one of the strategic buildings as far as the wind condition. It's the outpost, the Great Hall, the radio towers, and your warehouses. And they're all getting a new level, which at the very least I think is going to, with the Great Hall and radio tower, just multiple orders of magnitude increase in armor, because right now it doesn't take anything to take them out. They have really, really no armor whatsoever at this point in time. So,
interesting.
So, any thoughts on any of this? Anybody?
No, just this SAW thing could be interesting at best.
Yeah.
We got stuff floating around.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on to the next one.
Got it.
All right. This one's interesting and surprising in a couple ways. Basically, upgrading your outpost to level 12 does two things. It unlocks most of what you need to get an upgrade as far as this whole Outpost 12 thing, and they're all listed there. The surprising part I found was it increases your armor from 68 million to 100 million. The issue associated with that is when originally planned, OP12 was supposed to be going into this new PvP system where there was no bubble. Certain buildings needed to be destroyed, and if all those buildings were not destroyed, everything heals back to like you've never been hit before. So the issue that I have with this right now is we've added 31 and change million armor, and it could disrupt people's bubble pads. So if you've started bounty and you had your base set up with a bubble pad that you like, and it probably doesn't work anymore, so you need to reevaluate and throw some turrets or warehouses or whatever out in front of your base so your fleet doesn't get prepped out. So I'm just sort of surprised that they added this armor at this point in time. So
I do see the walls down at the bottom there. Yes,
nice. One of the walls, I think, are
I hate walls.
When do they implement the new PvP changes? Saltwater put a post together, and I think the words was in the next several months, so not in the next couple of weeks. So, yeah. Alrighty.
That did get delayed a bit, right?
Well, that's what I just said.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
It's confirming.
Are you watching the show?
No, I'm
Okay.
drinking a beer and just
Wait, how
looking
does
at the ceiling.
the bubble fad affect the base, though? Okay. Basically, you get a 12-hour bubble if 25% damage is done to your base. And the way a lot of players set things up is they force the attacker to do 25% damage to them prior to getting access, quote unquote, access to their fleets or other parts of their base that they consider crucial to their defense. So in this instance, if and it's based on the amount of armor that they destroy to get that far. So by adding this armor, this 38 or whatever, some million armor, you're shifting the focus back to your base. Your base is now, your outpost is making the pool larger. So therefore, what you put out in quote unquote bubble pad is smaller than it was by comparison as a percentage, is that 25%. So yeah, it could have an impact on a lot of people, especially if they finally tuned that 25% that they had at the front of their base and basically force people to kill. So they couldn't kill their fleet. And then what people could do is they go in and they kill your fleet, which isn't part of the bubble pad. Only your buildings and the armor associated with it is part of that. So they could kill your fleet, which does a lot of damage to the incoming fleet, and you're basically helpless at that point. So I hope I answered your question there. All right. If nothing else on that, Doc 16. All right. Doc 16 by itself takes 14 days, 9 hours. Doc 16 also allows you to have a full fleet of fully built Punishers to participate in the raid that is happening in 14 days. So you need to have tokens to basically get rid of the outpost, basically subtract 20 something days, 21, 22 days. You have enough tokens to subtract that so you could have fully built Punishers for the Vengeance, which I think is the name of the next raid.
That's like 5 weeks worth of build time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
And we have 2 weeks to do that?
Oh my.
Yeah, I have 2 weeks to do that. And they've told us that they're designing the difficulty of the target based on a 200,000 ton fleet weight.
And didn't they also say on Outpost 11? I thought I heard that somewhere.
Yeah, but it's the same thing.
It is the same thing. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because you need Outpost 12 in order to get
this right.
Yeah. So
I believe that when I see it. Okay.
So, so if you do have the tokens or the other wherewithal to get to this, I would wait until after bounty to get your upgrade your outpost itself up to level 12, just so it doesn't mess with your bubble pad at this point in time. And then afterwards, use your tokens or whatnot and get outpost 12 and dock 16, so you don't have any weight constraints on your Punishers. But again, they say they're planning for 200,000 tons as the weight of your Punishers is the difficulty. So that's a good question. Whoops, wrong one. If you're stuck upgrading the slow way, I think your fleet will still not be ready for raid 2. This is true if your base gets hit a lot, because I have not seen anything that says. I was talking with one of the mods on Discord, And there was a period of like 4 or 5 years ago where they realized that this was causing problems. That once your base got hit, it would stop your upgrades until your building was repaired. So something as long as the outpost could take a long time. And if you get hit often, um, and these buildings are down and they're not, it's interrupting your upgrades. Yes, it is true. You may not be ready for Raid 2. I think that's a huge problem. Um, it would be really disappointing for a lot of players that are building their Punishers. And even on the second raid, they don't have a, they can't put a full fleet out there, and are never really able to fully upgrade their Punishers and just leave them half built, which I consider to be highly problematic. And I don't know how they're going to fix it. Maybe they allow buildings to continue to upgrade while damaged, which they've done years ago. Or I don't know, probably TLCs and TLOs.
TLOs comes to mind.
Yeah, but I don't think that TLO. I think with the amount of people that would be removed from participating, I think TLOs is even. I think that would be a little bit over the top if they did it through TLOs. If they did it through TLCs, I could see some possibility of that. Or like what I originally suggested, as far as allowing ships to continue to upgrade while they're damaged, and everybody should be able to get through.
That'd be the best way.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, and the numbers here are for my base with whatever R&D and Facebook friends and or officers or whatnot. Yeah, this is 16 is the raw number if you don't have any of those things. Yeah. So yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. Any thoughts, Derpy?
Sorry.
Yeah, it just seems like I agree with what you said. We have to try to upgrade things, and I hope we have a TLC that gives us tokens.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, let's move on to the lab upgrades. All right. This. Okay. You need to have upgraded to OP12 to do all these. What was originally in the game, which I have screenshots, is incorrect. Because they changed it, I think somewhere around 5 o'clock East, 4 or 5 o'clock Eastern. So I wasn't up for taking new screenshots of everything, but I'll explain what the problem is. But basically, on the left, this is a table provided by Kixeye. The days to upgrade and the level. The Naval Lab provides a armor refit time bonus. Weapons Lab, weapons, refit time bonus. Advances specials, and Intelligence Lab is upgrade. I don't know why they put the word build in there, but we can look at one more click. Okay. This is the top under permanent effects. You see it's 7 days, 4 hours for me, as opposed to 8 because of the bonuses. But building armor refit time modifier of 30% and ship armor refit time modifier of 30% those were already there at level 14. The new thing is the ship armor refit time modifier of tier 9, -5%. What was originally introduced to the game was wrong. This is supposed to be tier 0 through 9. And I'm not even sure that's what it's been changed to, but I'm not even sure if that's supposed to be 0 to 99. 99 includes your ghost crawlers, your KDs, your whatever. 1 through 9, 0 through 9 is, so basically it works for all of those at this point in time. All your ships, not just those particular tier 9. The big question that comes to my mind is, what about tier 10? Currently, we have at least 275, 66, including the mountains. We have 336 days of upgrades that we've been delivered. When are we going to get tier 10? This does not include defense platform upgrades, which would fall in the same category. So we are looking at somewhere over a year to complete all of these upgrades. And if it only works for tier 9 or tier 0 through 9, up to tier 9, I'm not gonna be happy that I spent all that time and we get to tier 10 and none of it works. It could I've asked the question to several people at Kixeye. I have not got an answer on that question. Maybe they don't know at this point. So yeah. Anything on the Naval Lab?
No.
Okay.
I'm still not sure how it works, even with your explanations there.
Okay. The ship armor refit time already exists. It's going to take 30% off. I do not know how the 5% off of your refit, not on your build when you're adding armor, but just on refits, it works. I'm not sure if it takes 35% off, or do you take 30 times 1.05? I'm not sure why they're in different categories at this point. Is this additive, multiplicative? I don't know at this point in time. Is that sort of what the question you were asking, Drippy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I have not heard. I had a hard enough time figuring out if this would apply to tier 10 and failed at that. So another click. All right, weapons lab, same thing, 7 days, 4 hours for weapons. Click again. Click again. There we go. Advanced lab, specials, same deal. Applies to all of them, not just tier 9. One more click. Okay, one more. All right, this one applies to upgrades, which goes 5, 10, 15 as opposed to 5, 10, 20. Out of the ones we've seen, out of these 4, personally, this is the one I gravitate towards first, because of the paucity of upgrade tokens relative to build tokens. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'd agree. And this will give you a reduction for build time, where if it says reduction for refit time, that only means you get a time reduction when you're actually taking off a special or off a weapon. If you build a blank hole and click refit, it still counts all those putting new weapons on as building them, not refitting them.
I think I see a reduction when I don't know. Are you saying I see a reduction when whether it's a fresh build or a refit?
Okay.
Are you not seeing a reduction?
How I thought it worked was I thought we weren't supposed to have reduction then.
No, because if you look at like if you have a ship that you've built, does it say ship build or ship refit?
It will say ship refit if you're going into it, but I'm not sure that it works.
Okay, I thought I've seen a reduction, but I can look into that more closely. But that's the way I saw it, and more my thought was the fact that you're getting this just the lack of tokens, because the second month of a raid cycle, a lot of times people aren't using they have a hard time using their build tokens because they're spending all this time upgrading because there's not the upgrade tokens available.
Yeah, in either case, I think it's best to upgrade the Intel lab first.
Yeah, of these, yeah. Okay, so
of these 4, yeah.
All right, let's see what's next. The Retrofit Lab, PvP ship repair. So this is more beneficial to people that do a lot of PvP. One more click. So, and I think this one honestly only works on tier 9 conquerors. I don't think it is one that they needed to change, but I'm not certain. They've been changing a lot of stuff, so check in your own lab before. I put together the slides and then they started changing things, so I'm not completely certain of that. And again, the -5 is this current one. The 15 was pre-existing, and I don't know why they do it this way. It's quite confusing to people. I think they should, on the upgrade screen, they should only have what's being the current benefit of this upgrade, not all previous upgrades. There's a more button that shows you everything that you already have. So it does confuse people whether these things are getting added on or these are new, but I don't know. And I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, if you already have your upgrading, I'm not sure what it means to matter towards, but so, all right. Any thoughts on this one? Okay, if not, let's move on. Okay, I think you pushed the button the wrong way, or I'm either that or keep on going forward, or this has been copied somehow. All right. Okay.
Is that the one you want?
That's
one we just had.
We just saw it. Yeah, keep on.
We
going.
want Tactical Lab.
Yeah, Tactical Lab. Okay, Tactical Lab is for tier 9 PvE only. So the only one we have right now is the Punisher. And hopefully it applies to tier 10 because it's going to be a long time. Not many people are going to get this on their Punisher before it is out the door, because it requires Naval Lab 15, Weapons Lab 16, Advanced Lab 17, Retrofit Lab 9, and Intel Lab 5 just to get to the first level, and it increases with each level afterwards. So you get an increase in invade. I don't know, let's say your ship has 50% evade to begin with. Do you go to 55 or do you go to 52.5?
It's probably 52.5. That's my guess.
Yeah, but it's a guess. I mean, they do things, but you understand it. Are they adding it right in like it's part of the hull, or are they adding it in like it's a special? And we haven't really seen anything like this to jump to assumption, unless you can think of a good example as far as our stat. Well, we did have it with the combat, the map speed, and I never really paid attention to the map speed as far as how that map speed was added to our ships. Was it added? I don't know. But it's going to be a while, I think, till this really plays, because of all the upgrading that needs to be done in order to achieve any of these levels. Because if it is, I tend to agree with you, Derpy, because if they added it straight in, that 20% would be a huge number. If you go from 50 to 70 and you're building off of 70, it makes a lot more sense. And I think that's the way that they should do it, because otherwise it would be way, way overpowered. Okay. Alrighty, let's move on. So the first level is 8 days and 2 hours. And yeah, this is what I was talking about with the map speed, how that one was added in, and I don't know. But again, the turret damage bonus and the map speed, not part of this. It's just the evade bonus of 5% at the bottom. So, okay, let's move on.
There they are.
Yeah. Question from Soggy Mango: with all these time reductions, will we see a significant increase in build times? Is they're already creeping up? It's a good rhetorical question, and I guess it depends. I don't know that they know yet, and I definitely don't know yet. So, yeah, and Ninja Penguin is going with a classic Chris quote here. So, all right. The composite wall. This is not an upgrade of your previous walls. This is a 2x2 cube in size of your previous walls. In the bottom left-hand corner, I have one in my base where you see it's the same size as a cube of, basically 4 armors, but in 2x2 cube. The armor is increased from 9 to 65. If you included all 4, it's an increase from 36 to 65. And you also see an increase of 7,000 deflection. So,
wait a minute. Let me ask a stupid question.
Hmm.
Does one of these replace 4 of those?
Yes, but it only counts as one. I mean,
Okay, so we actually have fewer walls to replace?
well, and the good thing is, one more click.
Okay.
Okay. If you have a level 11 wall, this is what you get for recycling it. So you are getting more than half the cost of a composite wall. So, but you recycle 4 of these in order to get that. So you're getting more than you are getting basically more than twice these resources back if you are choosing to recycle walls and replace them with these. So this is not something where you need to go out and get Xinthium. You are actually at a Xinthium bonus. You're ahead on all your resources at this point in time.
That's almost a good thing.
Yeah, I don't know why they're doing it. I mean, people can have more walls. It's one thing, but just by making this 2x2 square into one, you're inherently sort of weakening them. I don't know, because if you have a weapon that's firing through them that doesn't have splash, it's going to be taking out a larger block, as opposed to before it would have to hit each individual one. And I don't know. I haven't done the math to figure out if you're actually strengthening these at all, based on that thought process. If splash is not involved.
Yeah, this is a little weird. Okay, very good. I'll have to find out.
Well,
thoughts, Derpy?
Yeah, I mean, these ones seem better than the old ones, but my problem is you have to click on, if you want a new wall, you have to click like 4 times on each individual wall to recycle them, and then build a new wall. So there's a lot of clicking going on, and I wish we could just select everything at once we wanted to recycle. Select 100 walls, recycle them all at one time. I saw that on a suggestion from somebody else, so it seems very, very annoying, very time-consuming to place all these, even if we are resource positive.
Use an old mouse so you don't mess up your micro switch.
Okay. Yeah. That's why I'm sort of like, why did they do this?
That one doesn't make it. I don't know if it makes sense or not. It's curious to me whether or not is this just a reduction in the amount of physical walls you're going to end up with having.
Does that mean will they make my base load more quickly?
Or
yeah. If you don't have to load.
Yeah.
But you can still put 600 walls up, but they're this size. So maybe people will be like, I don't need 600 of these walls.
I thought that one of the composite walls took up 4 wall spaces. 4, yeah. So if you have 8 walls available, you can build 2 composite walls.
Okay. Do you have the game loaded?
Yeah, I can try that.
Yeah, you want to get a wall count and then figure out before and after? Because I was trying to figure out what the bonuses were, and when I built that one wall, I didn't count how many walls I had.
So if you get No, I won't belabor the point, but we'll see how it works out.
Well, this was your This was your exciting slide.
Well, not really. I hate walls because
You were asking about the walls at the very beginning, and I'm like, they're pretty low on my list.
that's because I hate doing them. Because once I start doing them, I just keep going until I get done.
Mhm.
Okay, so I have 600 walls currently. I'm going to go ahead and recycle 4 of them.
Okay.
And that's click on the wall, click more, click recycle again. So that's 4 clicks per wall.
Mm-hmm.
So you're actually deleting the walls, basically.
He's recycling them and getting those,
Exactly.
resources.
You're getting rid of 4 to gain 1.
Yeah.
I can't build it yet because I don't have a level 12 outpost.
Okay.
Okay. See, I guess we'll find out.
I can love the game. Okay, let's move on from walls then.
That's fine. Let walls is walls. Walls
Okay.
are walls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's move on then.
Did I do it? I did click the button. I don't know if I got where you want to go.
We didn't go anywhere.
Okay. All right.
Okay, mountains.
Mountain.
Mountains are in defense, not in terrain, which sort of bugged me at first, but I'm over it. I mean, where would you, Derpy? Where would you look first for mountains?
I feel like you're right. I feel like they should be in terrain.
Yeah, it screams terrain looking at them. So you have a max of 6 walls, 11 days of build time, 500,000 resources of each, and these ones cost titanium, not uranium, like the walls do. So and they're a little pricey on the titanium as well.
A little?
Yeah, but it's taking 11 days, so you can get that. You can get that titanium back in well within that 11-day period. But and they haven't given us a definitive list of current weapons that can fire over them and not fire over them.
I know cannons can't go through, but how about mortars? Can mortars shoot over these?
Well, supposedly they're supposed to be like what we've seen before in the PvE targets. The one that really surprised me is the launcher.
The launchers can go over, right?
The throwers is the one that surprised me. Because the throwers, they look like a flamethrower, right?
Yeah.
And you don't picture a flamethrower going through a mountain. I can see missiles and mortars going over mountains, but flamethrowers and cannons, I don't see.
There's like no arc.
Yeah. So from what we've seen in PvE, as I remember through the Eradicator raid cycle, the throwers were going right through the mountains, which makes no sense to me. So
No, not at all.
Without the capability for high firing arcs. So that's all we have at this point. Generally, I found the briefing to be low on details that the players would want to know across the board. So, and they block both ways. Walls only block the attacker and allows the defender to fire through them. But this is going to, this will block both ways. So even you won't be able to, even as a defender, you won't be able to fire over or through them.
Interesting. They do look expensive, though. Okay.
All right. And let's see what's next. Portal 4, 18 days. So you go from, I assume that's 500. I wish they would put commas in here. 500,000 or 50 million?
50 million.
Okay. 50 million to 75 million. So you got a 50% increase there, and you basically get 50% increases. 18 days. Not going to continue to upgrade when damaged. So
Look at the Zen.
And you're normally putting them right out in the front of your base. So this may take 24, 28 days, depending on how active you are in PvP.
And that's
I can't even. I can't even fit that much zinc to my base. I have to overfill it by scrapping a ship or something, or canceling a build.
Or you have to do your uh,
Or you could scrap walls and do it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and I
if
have
you upgrade that.
a million for mine. So million's my max capability. And
And the default build on this one's 20 days, and the Portal 3's been reduced to 10.
okay, and I'm gonna check. I have 333 walls, and I'm gonna build a composite wall. 1 second, and composite wall. Start build, and
So if you upgrade your warehouses, does that give you the capacity for that 900 and some odd?
yeah, I have a million. You should probably have a million too.
Yeah, I was.
Okay, yeah, you're right, Darby. It does count. I went from 333 to 337. So not only physically does it take up 4 spots in your base, it takes 4 spots out of your inventory as far as your maximum cap for walls.
So you have actually the same amount of walls. They're just in groups of 4 then, if you choose to go that way.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So yes, you need OP12 to do anything.
Again, I'm repeating, but if you upgrade your warehouses, does that give you the capacity to have that much lithium?
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, I have all my warehouses at 17, and I have cap capacity for each individual type of one. Well, it's not,
100 million, right?
no, it's a billion, I guess, isn't it?
Billion. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it would be a billion, wouldn't it? Okay.
Yeah. So,
A billion. Okay.
all right, let's. Okay, one more click. All right. Should we? I asked Saltwater. Should we expect power increases in the portal and other buildings when the new PvP rules go into effect? He's undecided because right now with the new what's the name of the new wall? The limited wall that just came out is the
I have it.
Bastion seawall.
Yeah.
It takes up
An entire
62.5 thousand power, and your maximum is 65,000. So basically, you can put an armor panel on there, and that's about it. So he's the lead, as far as I know, the lead PvP designer at this point in time. At least he's the senior one, and he's undecided if we're going to see power increases in the portal and in other places. So basically, at this point, from what we know, when the new PvP rules go into effect, that we may have the same power level, and that the Bastion seawall will just be a wall, and you're not going to be able to have weapons associated with it. But again, it's under discussion. So I don't know. Any thoughts on your Portal 4? Okay, well, let's move on. All right, Bounty 29. One more click. You know, you can also hit the space button. FYI.
Yeah, I don't have my keyboard in my lap.
Okay. A lot of this is the same as we've seen before. Certain people got a free breacher fleet. I can't tell if it's people that didn't own any breachers or didn't own more than 5 breacher blueprints. But they get it, because you have an alt, right, Mike, that got 5 of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Got my main, the one I use every day, did not get any, and it has it has the bonuses from the last time. If that means anything.
I don't know what bonuses from the last time
Well, I
means.
think we got 5 one other time
Okay.
because I think I
Well,
have like
I
10
think
or
it's more
11.
related to the number of, because you can only own a total of 10 blueprints. So if they come out in chunks of 5, I'm curious if anybody out there that had 5 breacher, did they?
I can't look, but I think I have 12.
I well, I wouldn't say we
I'll
probably
look after the
we'll probably need to go back and edit that because your base might get banned.
I'll look after the show. But I thought I had
Okay.
one that I built, and maybe I'm wrong. Never mind. Forget it. Go forward.
Alrighty. The couple changes I've seen here is employee bases have defender fleets as opposed to they may have defender fleets. Be prepared. Everything else is the same except for that, and dock and outpost repair will be 5 seconds and will start automatically. So you get hit, your dock and your outpost are back up and will be repaired in 5 seconds during bounty, and I'm assuming you need to be participating in bounty for that to occur. So this lowers some of the angst that people might have had as far as trying to get their outpost upgraded um, and participating in bounty. So I'm assuming this, the way I read this is if you participate in bounty and only for the period of bounty, this will occur. Thoughts?
I'd agree with your interpretation there. And Greg saying in chat here that the Kixeye employee bases also have the new mountains.
Yeah. I think Robinson Biggins said his base looked like K2. So, all right.
So that means if you get hit in bounty, because I haven't played bounty in a long time. So if you get hit in bounty, you're actually back in business real quick. You don't have to wait for your dock to repair so long.
Yes.
So that's kind of a good thing and almost a good reason to play bounty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. JVlog is also seconding that the kick spaces are, have been upgraded. The new prizes are the Hellmouth Heavy Thrower, the Farsight Heavy Cannon, Skin, just on the heels of Skinfest 2020 last week. And we get some 10-hour structure build tokens and 48-hour structure build tokens, which I think are both new. The 48, I swear, was around at some point, but that might have been ship build token. So these will fit into new slots along with your 1 hour, your 1 day, your 2 1 days, the cap of 2 and the cap of 200 ones, the 7 day. I don't know. Is there any more of them? So these will fit in different caps, as far as your maximum number you can own. So might be useful for people that are trying to get their dock to level 16 prior to the next raid. Okay. Yeah, 48 hours. I thought. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 48 hours. I thought I'd seen before. I would have thought they would have gone with 50 hours or something just to be a unique one. But yeah, I swear I saw it before. So thanks for informing us. These are just the new prizes. They're, I don't know, pretty expensive. And then we'll get to them. But the thing you should notice is previously heavy weapons were not limited. These ones are limited. So let's go take a look at them. Before, the only limiting factor was the actual HT transformer. But the ships, or the turrets, once you won one, you would, you could build as many as you want. You were only constrained by the transformer. Um, this is the far side heavy cannon. Um, seems you can own up to 8 of them. Um, does a lot of damage, low reload time. On the right hand side is the arc that it fires. Um, the one that I thought was the best comparison to it was click the downburst. Same range, but as we see that the download has half a second reload, but only 140,000 damage. So once you put the specials that do critical and ballistic damage and whatnot, you can get the deflection damage way up there for this. So yeah, it could be the answer to the Warhounds and
That
whatnot.
looks huge.
Yeah. So, any thoughts on the?
Whoa! The only thing that stands out is the reload time.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The fact that when players are defending their base in this instance, this is deflection base. So once you add all the specials on, this 900,000 is useful, while the 140,000 might not be quite as useful as far as because you do damage up and above the deflection of the ship that you're firing at. So this combined with the specials could do massive damage, even though the reload time is quite a bit different. That's why I didn't do any damage per second numbers, because it's completely irrelevant in the PvP game.
It's huge. Okay.
So, all right, let's see what's next. All right, the Hellmouth Heavy Thrower. I didn't find anything that was comparable to, because we've never seen a limited thrower. I mean, a heavy thrower. We do have a heavy launcher, but it had different mechanic. And the thing I like about some of these new weapons is they're single salvo, so they don't make it quite as complicated to understand what the damage they're doing is. As opposed to like once you add all the specials in, then you need to divide by the salvo to get to the deflection damage value. So with all these single salvo weapons, you don't have to do that. So
Yeah, single salvos are not a lot nicer in terms of math and all that things. So I agree.
yeah, you don't have to have a little piece of scrap paper to try and figure out what's going on there, or a calculator, or more than 5 fingers. So splash and spread. I don't know. We'll see. Because a lot of these, it sort of seems like you have to just wait and see how they perform, because some of the stats seem to be, especially with these splash weapons, see how they'll actually perform. Yeah. Well, how long before they nerf them? The largest complaint from the people that I saw on Discord today was the people that was complaining about there was not enough defense in their base associated with OP12. So this was the argument back at them from Kixeye and whatnot, is please take a look at the bounty prizes. So, but yeah, we'll see. They may nerf them. I don't know what they're going to do, or just punish the people that haven't done them. So, I don't know. Thoughts on the Hellmouth? All right. I don't know. Do we have any more? Nope. There we go. That's the end of slides. Is there anything else that we wanted to show people or talk about?
I don't really have anything.
No, not really.
Okay. Well, if anybody would like to join the after show, or if you show up really soon, you can join the show live. But yeah. Hope you all do well. We'll be back on Friday, and I'm not willing to hold out for the CM Diary, which should be coming out soon. Um, but we'll see you on Friday for the CM Diary, and good luck in Bounty. Or those two TLCs are fantastic for a lot of people. So I would definitely look at trying to complete those as far as between the upgrade tokens and the build tokens and everything available in them. Um, I would make them a priority for a lot of people. So, alrighty,
Agreed.
see y'all on Friday.
Night all.
Good night.